Howdy everyone, it's Jason and welcome to another Zombicide Undead or Alive unboxing. This is the Western version. So this is the Steampunk Extras. So the base game was Undead or Alive. The big expansion, which had the campaign, was called Gears and Guns, which added steampunk characters and some elements there. This is the Kickstarter exclusive like stretch goals. So usually in Kickstarter all the stretch goals end up in one box together. This one they put in a separate box because if somebody decided not to buy the steampunk set, they didn't want them to have these characters that would have abilities or rules that didn't make sense because you need to have the steampunk set to get this. So these are the characters that were unlocked during the stretch goals, but they're only available if you also purchase the Gears and Guns set. If you saw this sitting around somewhere on eBay or some store happen to have a copy of it, like retailers buy Kickstarter stuff as well, could you pick it up and play it with the regular game? 100% yes. You do not have to have the steampunk set necessary to play this. The only problem you're going to run into is, one, you won't know the rules for the Steam abilities, which you might be able to look them up online. And then some of the Steam abilities use special Steam dice, which you could just use any regular sided dice. Just they have a symbol on there that represents an item being depleted, or your item like running out of steam. Which you could just count any. It's just the one on the dice. So you could really use any die to use it. You just have to remember that versus having that symbol. Otherwise, yeah, you could pick this up and play with it with any other set. But it is, supposed to be like an add-on for that. So we're gonna hop in and look at the characters. They're just characters in here, nothing extra special. No other zombies or abominations or anything like that. So we have our classes. So we have, of course, for the steampunk set, we have the engineer class, which gives them emergency refill. Since once per turn, you may spend one action to complete a steam weapon from your inventory to refill another steam weapon. And then when they go full steam, to get roll their special dice, they get +1 die in combat. Now, it's really cool about the way CMON does watch their game to stretch goals is when they add more characters, especially Zombicide more than some of the other games. They try and use references for various characters or various people in different movies as best as they can. So the original Zombicide, it was, maybe a little bit, they just referenced characters from different movies or things that would have been from maybe like horror or survival type movies. I think the fantasy got a little bit trickier because they didn't want to just rip off only Lord of the Rings. And then the space one, they of course did a lot of space horror movies like Aliens and Predator and things like that. So of course this one, being a Western game, is going to draw from a lot of Western shows. So this is no exception. Now, not every character here is every stretch goal character is 100% based off of somebody, and some of these are ours being people on the Kickstarter or in the Board Game Geek comment forum section, our best guesses. CMON doesn't come out and directly say, this is this person. But if you go through the actual Kickstarter page when they have the unlocks and reveals for the characters, they usually give a little text or a little paragraph about the characters that does help link there to that. So if you don't recognize this character already, this is Lord Forsaken. And you know why won't it zoom? There we go, focus. So this is Dr. Arliss from the Wild Wild West, who is, I wrote all this down so I could just read it for everybody. Kenneth Bragg, and sorry if I mispronounce anyone's names. So I believe this is more from the updated Wild Wild West, maybe not the original TV series, but the one with Will Smith in it. Yes, he's a bad guy that's in a wheelchair. So his blue ability is he starts with his steam chair. So he gets a special invention right off the bat. It says, if the survivor performs 2 consecutive move actions, they gain 1 free move action to use immediately. So it's kind of neat. So if he starts rolling, he can keep rolling. And on the back, it's going to look like any other regular invention or card. And he gets his yellow, he gets his 1 action. His red, he gets 1 free range action. Or his orange is he's going to get Steam Derivation. So I'm going to reread some of these. I'm not going to go through every ability. Just because you can watch the other videos to see what those are, or look up in the rulebook. But Steam Derivation says, may refill a depleted equipment within a range of 0 to 1 of any active nozzle. No line of sight is required. So basically, as long as he's near the thing, he can go ahead and refill his weapons quicker versus having to like make sure he gets around to be right next to the nozzle. Then his red, he has 1 free combat action, 1 free refill, and double steam dice. And double steam dice lets him double his steamer on any amount of equipment whenever he goes full steam. So this guy's really falling into the steam aspect of that with the derivation and steam dice. But like all the other steam characters, you can choose to not use their abilities or not go that route. So let's look at his miniature here. He's got his definitely steampunk wheelchair. And it's really cool because it's a neat way for them to have a character in the game that's in a wheelchair. Because lots of people like want to feel included in these games, but it's like, okay, they didn't. I don't know if they had a lot of wheelchairs back in the Old West. I could be wrong. But this is a good way to include that, as well as, you know, you're not like, I don't want to say poking fun at anybody, but like you're not just trying to like create one for the sake of creating one for inclusion reasons. Because I have Massive Darkness, which is a also by Simon, which is a fantasy game where you like use magic and you fight demons and stuff, and they have a character in there that as well who has like in like their one set that has like inventors. And like again, steampunky type stuff they kind of add. There's another character that also has a wheelchair because again, and usually in high fantasy they don't have wheelchairs. All right, so our next character up is Violet. She's also an engineer. Violet is Maeve Malay from Westworld, acted by Thaddeus Newton. So I hope I pronounced her name right. So there's going to be her miniature. I love the fan. I wish it was a weapon in the game. Like a metal-serrated fan melee weapon. That would have definitely been really cool. And there's the back side. So she starts with 1 invention. She has to draw one right off the bat, which is really fun. 1 action, and then her orange are 1 free combat action or 1 free move action. Her red is 1 die for combat. Full steam, she can do 1 damage for melee, or full steam, she can add 1 die roll to ranged. So this is kind of neat, gives her a little bit of direction she wants to go. She starts off with an extra invention, so it gives her some extra abilities, and that can kind of dictate if she wants to have extra attacking or extra movement. And then when she gets to red, she can decide, does she want 1 extra die for anything, or does she only want 1 extra die to her steam rolls for ranged attacks, or does she want more damage as melee? So you can kind of decide which direction she wants to go, which is really fun. Our next character is Oldcuss, who is also an engineer. And I gotta figure out which one Oldcuss is, because... oh, there he is. There's Oldcuss. He's got a shotgun rifle and a little pistol. So Oldcuss is based off of Al Swearingen from Deadwood, played by Ian McShane. Supposed to be the reference there. So he's got marksman, which lets him, you know, not shoot friendly people and pick who he wants when he fires his ranged attacks. 1 action, he's orange, he gets 1 die roll for range, or he has emergency refill, which for the steampunk says once per turn, the engineer may spend 1 action to deplete a steam Deploy a steam weapon of their choice and add to their inventory. So he's going to gain that a second time. So basically what that means is he can now use emergency refill twice. So he's going to really want to go into that. Go into steam abilities if you check that. His reg is +1 free range action, double steam dice, or full steam, he does +1 damage for range. So he's really all about being ranged. So he does have a pistol, but he's definitely want to probably maybe utilize the shotgun more or the rifle, just because he'll have longer range. Alright, up next we have a townsfolk. We have Dottie. Dottie is based off of... there she is. Dolores Abernathy from Westworld, played by Evan Rachel Woods. So I think she's the main character. I haven't seen most of these westerns or enough of them to remember who all these characters are. I just love western aesthetics, but there's her character, hair flowing, shot or a gun behind her back. That's a weird way to hold the gun. So she has Boring Leader, which is an ability from the base set. So let me check that one out. It says, during a survivor's turn, that survivor may give one free action to another survivor to use as they please. This action is used immediately, then they resume their turn. So that's kind of fun. She can tell someone else, like, hey, I need you to move here, or I need you to fire, or I need you to do a search action. So it gives an extra free action to somebody else. She has +1 action. Then her orange gets 1 free ranged action, or if she uses a steam die for ranged. And then her rag is 1 free combat, 1 free steam reroll, or toolbox. And toolbox lets so each time a survivor gets a depleted icon on a melee or ranged item, they may discard a steam weapon of the corresponding type, ranged or melee, to ignore all of them. So if she's shooting her rifle and she goes full steam on it, rolls the depleted icon, which would make it unusable until you refill it, she could discard another rifle to basically ignore that. It'll ignore all results, so that's kind of fun. Up next we have Zhao, who, this one doesn't have a direct one-to-one reference. This is basically Jackie Chan. From whatever Jackie Chan is in. So, because he's been in, like, Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights, he did those movies. Plus he's done some other westerns. Off the top of my head, I can't think of all of them. Where is his miniature? Oh, there he is. I was looking for a different character. There's his miniature. I didn't see the axe, because it's not really showing the picture. But yeah, so it's basically based off various Jackie Chan type characters. Yeah, which is really cool. Everyone loves Jackie Chan. I don't think it's based off one specific one. So he's a brawler, so brawlers have the charge ability, so they can jump, like rushing to do an attack. Plus he gets 1 free charge every turn. So he can, or one extra charge, not a free one, he gets an extra, so he can charge twice in a turn. +1 action, and then he has the engineer ability, which will let him get a free refill if you want to do the steam, or he has full steam hit and run. So that's actually really cool. So as long as he full steams with a weapon, if he defeats a zombie, he can get a free movement away from them. So basically, he can use his charge abilities with or without steam to run in, hit guys, and then he can back out if he gets hit and run. So it gives him all that movement. He has +1 charge per turn, so now he can potentially go up to 3, or he can jump, gets to move 2 spaces, ignoring stuff, or roll 6, he gets +1 die melee. So that's kind of cool. So basically, you can decide how you want him to play. Do you want him to be a really movement-y character, or do you want to maybe focus on doing some extra damage with the engineer and the rolling 6? Definitely cool. Here's one that everyone was super excited for. We have Doc Umber. So if you don't recognize who this is, of course, Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future, played famously by Christopher Lloyd. So Umber is, of course, another color of brown, and Doc being Doc Brown, of course. So that's definitely awesome. Of course, he has to be an engineer. And you'd be like, Back to the Future wasn't a Western, but the third one was. They went to the Old West, if you remember. So that's definitely cool. Plus, they make sense for being steampunk. Like, he created a steam-powered train that could travel through time. So he gets the inventor ability, which lets him draw an extra card each turn, or replace his card. I'm just trying to find the exact words. Spending action to discard an equipment from an inventory to draw new equipment. It's not a search action. He can do it multiple times. Basically, he can get the item he really needs. He has +1 action. He, of course, it's hit and run or townspoke. So either he can kind of be like, I need to take these guys out and keep moving, or he can get the townspoke ability, which lets him do multiple searches or find know the layout of the land. And Red, he gets +1 damage for combat, +1 free combat action, or double steam dice. So it's going to be all about really utilizing his weapons and his items. Probably making some and giving them away to other people, which would definitely be a good thing for him to do. And then, what would Doc Brown be without Kelvin? I mean, Marty McFly. So this is definitely a fun overall reference of everything, because of course we got the Steam Drifter, which is his hoverboard. But then you got the Western part with, Back to Future 3. You got the hoverboard, which is in, the first one, and then Kelvin, or I think it's in the second one, more in the second one. And then you have Kelvin, which was the name he went by when he is telling his parents who he was. It's Kelvin Klein, because he's going by his underwear. So Steam Drifter is an item he starts with his 1 free move action and Slippery. So Slippery, I believe, lets him move away from enemies. I'm going to double check. Survivor does not spend extra action when they perform a move action out of a zone containing zombies. Survivor also ignores zombies when performing move actions, including those allowing them to cross several zones, for example, with the sprint skill. So he gets the extra move action and can basically move through zombies with this. So that's definitely cool. And I don't think there's any reason why you can't hand them off to other people. So he gets a gunslinger ability. So he's actually a shooter. He gets the fanning. He starts with a Steam Drifter, has 1 action, +1 free move action, and you become an engineer. So then you can kind of learn from Doc Brown, or Doc Umber rather. He gets +1 free combat action, 1 free move action, or fanning reroll. So it's all about movement around, but unlike the Zhao one, which is the Jackie Chan, who all had about move with attack, like a jump or doing the hit and run. His is all just about, I'm going to get to where I need to be, and then I can start shooting things. So of course this is, I don't know if I did say that, it's Michael J. Fox, if you didn't realize that's who played Marty McFly. So this might be one which maybe he doesn't, always, some of the characters really 100% look like their characters, or who they're modeled after. Some of them don't. And it just might be an issue of, maybe they didn't do the likeness because that particular actor or actress, has had issues in the past of people using their likeness. Some of it's, maybe they just couldn't, they just didn't want to. I don't know. It just depends on who drew it. Alright, so then we got 2 more fun characters. We have Snake Eyes, and I'm going to shuffle the next one right away. We have Jeans. So this is Chevy Chase here on the left, and Steve Martin on the right, as Snake Eyes is Lucky Day, and Jeans is Rusty Bottoms. So That's why I wrote all these down. So, Dusty Bottoms from the Three Amigos. So unfortunately, we only got 2 of the Three Amigos. Why they didn't have the third one, no one's ever revealed. Again, this might be a thing where that actor may have had issues in the past with people using his his quote unquote likeness. I mean, these aren't like one-to-one likenesses of the characters, but maybe he's had issues in the past, so maybe that's why they didn't use them. One thing we can do is there's an expansion pack if you got that has mariachi zombies, so you can always use that as the third one and just assume that the Ned character in that show had died and became a zombie. Alright, so let's look at theirs. So they did this in one of the other characters too. They don't have their hats on them. Although he doesn't have his hat anyhow. But there is Snake Eyes. So the drawing looks a lot closer than the actual miniature does. But you can see they have like armor and stuff on. He's got his hat on the sombrero on the back. So Snake Eyes gets Boring Leader. He's a gunslinger, of course. 1 action. His orange is 1 free ranged action or 1 free refill. Red is 1 free combat, double steam dice, or hit and run. So a lot of these guys have similar abilities in this set, but that's alright. But yeah, you can help everybody else. And again, you decide, do you want to do more range, or do you want to do the steam thing with the steam dice and the free refill? Gives you some different options. And then we have the jeans version, or character. It's definitely fun. Again, something like that would have been cool, like being mariachi, if they had like a instrument as like a melee weapon, kind of like extra thing. Like again, I'm gonna reference Massive Darkness again. In that, like the expansions, every time they added a new expansion, they usually had little weapons that went with the type of character. So like if you were fighting against an archer class, you got an item that went with that archer class type of thing. So it'd be kind of neat if they would have had maybe other extra additional weapons that went with these. I get why they didn't, because these are stretch goals, not full expansion. But he starts off with Taunt. And Taunt is basically doing its set what you think it does. Once during each of their turns, you can use this for free. Set the zone of up to 2 zones away from the survivors with clear paths to them. No line of sight is needed. All zombies standing in a selected zone immediately gain extra activation. They try to reach the taunted survivor by any means available. Taunted zombies ignore all other survivors, do not attack them, and leave the zones they're standing in, and do not need if needed to reach the taunting survivor. So that's kind of cool. You can stand up to 2 spots away. He can basically call guys over to him, and then they immediately take an action. So if this is used maybe at the, like someone's jumped in, they've taken out a bunch of zombies, but they rolled bad and they couldn't get rid of all of them, you could have him go last and pull everyone kind of towards him. Just want to make sure you don't pull like maybe them too close, because then they will they might get a move on their turn, or if they get a free activation on their next turn, that could be bad for you. But he has 1 action, 1 free refill, and fanning, he gets 1 free reload. So he's kind of also good. You can pull guys towards him, and then do a fanning shot and hit a bunch of them. And then red, he has 1 free move, fanning, 1 roll to dice, or lucky, which lets him re-roll dice. So it would definitely be good. And then if you actually combine him with Snake Eyes, if you're playing them together, he can use Boring Leader to force Jeans to taunt. To bring guys over during their turn, maybe to pull them off of them. And then maybe they can use ranged attacks instead of melee attacks. Like maybe at the end of the last turn, a bunch of zombies moved next to guys they couldn't attack. Now they're sitting on your spot. He could use that to force him to move, then he could shoot them, and then Jeans could take his turn. So it's a nice little combo there. Alright, so that is what we have for the Steampunk Extras. Check out all the other videos for the Zombicide. Maybe sometime it'd be really fun to do if I could get a bunch more of the Zombicide games is do a comparison with these, like, next to a picture, so you can see how much they look like their characters. But until then, see you guys later. Bye.